Capricorn. Hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late June, moving into early July 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Capricorn collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Cappies as we move from late June to early July? It is Cancer season, lovely time of year. But what energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Capricorn. Late June, early July. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's have ourselves a little bit of fun here, my friends. We're going to have a good time today, regardless of the cards that pop out, right? Cool. So this is absolutely a forward-facing type of energy, and it might look a little inconspicuous, right? Just the lady chilling on the beach, looking to the horizon. But there is a lot of forward momentum with this card. That's always how I interpret it initially. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So again, we see this lovely lady in that beautiful blue dress. She is at the beach, kind of looking out at the skyline, and we see these big structures in the sky with the rainbow coming out of it. And to me, that seems similar to someone setting goals, where it's like, I want to accomplish this, and then accomplish that, and then accomplish that. So it's eyes to the horizon, eyes to the future. Now, for some Capricorns, maybe that's advice from spirit, where it's like, hey, keep pushing forward, keep moving forward, keep looking to the horizon. And I know in modern spirituality, we are urged to stay in the present, which I always think is important, right? Like we can reflect on the past, we can look into the future, but being grounded in the present is important. But there could be something here about planning, strategizing, step by step by step, which I think is good. Now, sometimes if we're looking a little too far into the future, if we focus there a little too much, that can wind us up a little bit. So I would just say, don't worry about situations where it's like, oh, I'll cross that bridge when I get there, because you could literally cross that bridge when you get there. But I like that forward movement. We're going to let her chill on the beach. She's having a nice moment. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Capricorn. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So the overall vibe last week was very much no nonsense. The reading was titled It's Game Over. Now, again, for some of you, maybe you're dealing with certain things where patience was running thin, or maybe it was just one of those weeks where it's like, you know what, I'm not dealing with any type of BS. Like, it seemed like it had a very low tolerance for certain things. So just know that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. Very Queen of Swords like, right? But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going here. 3 cards for Capricorn. What do we got in late June, early July for our good friends? We're going to see. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of this energy bleeding over. We got our friend right here, the 5 of Swords. Like that is another energy that's not really messing around too much. But again, we still have much more to go. This could be a very determined, forward-pushing card as well. So again, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But it's a little aggressive. Okay, we got the Ace of Cups. That does lighten the energetic load a little bit. I like the Ace of Cups. It's a little softer around the edges. So we have this nice energy that seems to be working off of each other. Let's get one more here. And it could just be a little sentimental or emotional. 10 of Swords. Okay. Very swordsy. And don't get freaked out about this. This kind of feels like a cycle to me. Like when I see the Ace of Cups, 10 of Swords. So again, don't get freaked out about that card, because it's like a cycle all in one. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. At first look, first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. And all of the elements that we have this week are pointing inward, right? We have a lot of air and we have the water. And both of them are the internal suits, whereas like pentacles and wands, that's outside noise. This is all internal. Now, when it comes to the swords, that deals heavily with the mindset, perception, how we view things, perspective. That's always huge when it comes to that. It's very strategic, planned out, that no BS, no nonsense type of vibe. So, yeah, there is a strategy behind it. It could deal with either giving or receiving or searching for information. So, that's why swords are the communication suit. The downside to swords is sometimes they could overthink. Sometimes swords could be a little harsh, right? It's that cut and dry type of energy we saw last week. So we need to watch out for it, of course. Now, in the center, we have the water, which completes our whole thing here. So this is matters of the heart, matters of emotion when we have the water. So it's like we have the heart and mind showing up. And it does seem like the mindset or perspective or logic could be winning out, like if that makes sense, because there's much more swords than there is water. Now, when it comes to the water, that is anything that we're emotionally invested in, anything that we care about. It could just be our emotional levels in general, how someone else is feeling. Water, aside from emotional attachment, it could represent partnerships, very creative, soft around the edges, emotional thinking outside of the box. So there's a lot of great stuff. It's very intuitive, has a really heightened sense of energetic sensitivity. But the downside to water is that it can overwhelm us sometimes, right? Water, just like the tides, they come and go, in and out, ebb and flow. So we got this little mixture of things going on. It's very much internal. And again, it doesn't have to be all yours. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Five of Swords. And just like every card, there's a positive side and there could be a challenging side to it as well. But we see this individual with the spiky haircut has all the swords, literally kick the crap out of these two people in the background, right? So it's a person that's won out, right? I think it could be good. In its positive sense, the Five of Swords could be about determination, right? Like someone's can't stop, won't stop type of attitude. I refuse to lose. I refuse to quit. So I love it for that. I love it for its motivation. I love it for its internal motor. That's a good thing. It could represent self focus in this time. So if you're prioritizing yourself, that's not a bad thing when the Five of Swords is here. But when we get to the challenges of this card, yes, it could be very aggressive. It could be very pushy. Sometimes it could represent conflict or problematic or serious situations that we want to look into further. Um, some people, it could be self-focused energy to the maximum, where we could be borderline ego. And again, I'm not saying it's you. It could be somebody else, where it's me, 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 all about me when we have this card. So I want to see, is it aggressiveness or is it determination? Is it anger or is it something else? We're going to have to look further. Now, moving to the middle, and this is where the reading really starts to intrigue me as we get him next to the amethyst. Maybe that'll chill him out a little bit. We have the Ace of Cups. So beautiful. Aces, they're fresh, they're new, they represent a start of a cycle. So when we have the Ten of Swords right next to it, and we're going to go into that, it's like we have a beginning and an ending. So we have a whole cycle showing up just in three cards. Now, all aces represent offers and opportunities. They represent conversation, communication, messages. So we do want to look at this further. Normally, the Ace of Cups is like an emotional outpouring, or again, it could just represent someone's emotional state, like how they're feeling. Are they upset? Are they hurting? We're going to have to see what's up. And I'm not about to say that this reading is a rough one, even though we have two cards that could be, right? The downside to the Ace of Cups is similar to what I said about the water. It could be very overwhelming. It could be very much up and down. So we're going to have to see if there's any warnings here. Now, as we move to the back end, so we have the Five of Swords, we have the Ace of Cups, which is that fresh beginning. We end with the Ten of Swords. All right. So don't get freaked out about it. It's just energy. And when we do readings, it's just an energetic forecast, right? Like it's not guaranteed the Ten of Swords is coming in for you, right? Uh, it is one of the more challenging cards in the whole entire tarot deck. I'm going to be honest, right? If you don't know much, you see the person there, 10 swords inside, yikes. Now, it can represent the close of a cycle, close of a chapter. It could represent endings. It could represent pain. It's not all bad, though. Even with one of the rougher cards in the deck, there is a silver lining attached to it. And yeah, it could represent loss or people that we may have lost and stuff like that. But to me, it tells me there's nowhere to go but up, right? Like, so the Ten of Swords is like, okay, that happened. Whatever that is, that happened. Where do we go from here? So that forward pushing type of energy is what I'm inclined to focus on most. So it does have an upward momentum, It's intriguing to me that we have the Ace of Cups, Ten of Swords right here. So for some of you, this could be a cycle that's already passed or completed. But I want to dive deeper on all the Capricorn. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Five of Swords. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, Five of Swords. Let's see what the vibe is with this. Hopefully it's a good one, but we'll see. We're going to keep it neutral either way, my friends. Okay. Yeah, it does feel a little bit temperamental. So we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. That is one of your power cards. And I don't want to say it's like an unhinged type of energy, because it's not. It just feels spiky, if that makes sense. And I mentioned he had like a spiky haircut. There's just something about this that feels very spiky. I don't know why that's important. That might be the first time I've ever said that in a reading, even with personals that I do. The energy feels like I'm picking up a porcupine or something like that. But aside from that, the King of Pentacles is usually very grounded, right? Grounded, predictable. What you see is what you get. Blessings, abundance. So when I see one of your power cards in reverse underneath the Five of Swords, it's like, ooh, ooh, don't touch, don't touch. It's like a cautionary type of energy, like warning, warning, do not touch, or keep your distance. So for some Capricorns in this time, if you are feeling a little disgruntled about someone or something, it's okay to get in hermit mode, right? That's kind of how this feels to me, where it's like, you know what, I'm just going to pull my energy back here for a second. So whether this is you feeling a little disgruntled, or maybe someone else you're connected to might be a little aggressive, a little disgruntled, it does feel like someone that's angry or mad to me. And I would urge maybe a little space, because I keep getting that like warning, do not touch type of energy, which is super unique. We're just going to keep going though. That's very simple, straightforward. Yeah, the energy does not feel too pleased for one reason or another. And I mean, last week it made sense where we had like the no BS type of energy. It's similar. It's cut from a similar cloth here. Let's keep moving. We're going to go in on the Ace of Cups, because maybe this energy will shift out. That's very possible. So let's go in on the Ace of Cups. We'll see what that has. Because if this is a little like aggressive, this one could be much softer, more sentimental. So let's see what the Ace of Cups has. Maybe it's just a conversation. It's very possible. So why is the Ace of Cups here? Thank you. Okay. Magician in reverse. Yeah, so emotional regulation. This could be representing somebody that might have, I don't want to, you know, it's not like I'm casting judgment, but when I see the Ace of Cups with the Magician in reverse, this to me just feels like someone that has issues or difficulties controlling their emotions or their ups and downs. Now, this could just be a very temporary type of thing. I do think that this is an emotional warning in the center, aside from this like spiky energy we have on the front. The energy to me just feels very, very touchy, whether it's like easily offended or it's an energy that gets upset quickly. That's how this all feels to me. It feels very touchy, feels like I'm walking on eggshells, even when I'm speaking about it. That's why I'm trying to word it this way. Now, the Magician, it's great for manifesting, it's great for spirituality, it's great for intuition. So when I see it in reverse underneath the Ace of Cups, this could be someone where it's like, I'm not feeling the right thing. Like my intuition's telling me something, but is it the right thing? So watch out for second guessing your gut feelings and intuitions. But with this combination, remember, the Magician, aside from all that beautiful spiritual stuff, is a card of control, right? Controlling one's reality, controlling one's path. So when I see it in reverse, especially a king next to it in reverse, these are cards that represent control. This could be an important warning or just an emotional one, where like there's something off about emotional regulation here. And again, if you're going through one, maybe you need a little hermit mode. If somebody else you're connected to is going through one, maybe they need a little bit of space too. So that's pretty much what it feels like. Yeah, look, we're gonna keep moving. Yeah, it's odd. It's but it's also natural, right? I mean, people go through times like this. Let's keep going. We're gonna see what the Ten of Swords has, then we'll do a quick little recap. So let's see. Why is the Ten of Swords here for Capricorn? Okay. Yeah, so another one of your power cards in the upright. All right, so this to me, and don't again, energetic forecast, right, my friends? But the Queen of Pentacles in the upright is actually a good thing here, right? Although it is another one of your power cards, she has a lot of similarity to the King in the front, where she's grounded, she is stable. So Ten of Swords with her, like there might be someone that just needs a little bit of time. That's how it feels to me. Like Ten of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, it's like not someone good. They just need a little bit of time. They need to recoup. They need a little bit of space. Like that's how this energy is presenting to me. So again, it could be you or somebody else, where it's I just need a little time here to digest something. That's the main vibe I'm picking up. It doesn't mean a Ten of Swords is coming at you. I mean, for some of you, maybe, right? But it's on a spectrum. It doesn't always have to be something like, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. I don't want to make it seem like that because for some of you, it might just be an energy that's bubbling under the surface. But yeah, the Queen of Pentacles in the upright is very grounded. So when I see her under the Ten of Swords, it's like, okay, well, that happened. That is what it is. Let me just pump the brakes here. Let me pump the brakes. So whether it is taking a break, taking a little space, to me, it's just like something or someone needs a little bit of space. That's just how it feels to me. So intriguing stuff. And I guess if you are dealing with someone that's in this energy, the best thing to do is just the low pressure approach. That's for sure. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadows. So very touchy type of energy this week, Capricorn. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we got the Five of Swords, King of Pentacles in reverse underneath it. Yeah, it does feel a little upset, anger, mad, all those labels we put on it. It just feels very spiky and very touchy, like caution, do not touch without gloves. Moving to the center, we have the Ace of Cups with the Magician in reverse underneath it. Something about emotional regulation, or ups and downs. So we'd have an emotional warning on top of an important one. And then on the back end, we have the Ten of Swords with the Queen of Pentacles in the upright. And to me, it feels like this energy just needs a little time to digest, or it needs a little space, or just very hands off, where it's like, okay, that happened. Let me process it. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got? Cool. Yeah, so this energy is pretty much the opposite of what the reading advised us this week, right? So we have the Seven of Wands, which could sometimes be an energy that feels cornered. Now, I will mention this. It does hold a similar energy to this Five of Swords in its good sense. The Seven of Wands to me is that not quitting type of energy, where it's like, I have determination. I don't care what it is. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep pressing through it. Whether it's problems, situations, other people, I keep moving forward. So we've been having this theme as well. I like the Seven of Wands for that, but it's also an energy that could feel like it's between a rock and a hard place. It's an energy that could feel trapped or cornered. Watch out for things even as small as having some cabin fever when this card is here, right? Because it's an energy that feels like trapped for one reason or another. But what does the Seven of Wands also do? It could press things, right? It could force things. It could try to strong arm things. So whether this is someone's aggressive energy showing up once again, or this is spirit advising like, hey, there's a lot of fiery energy bubbling underneath, I still think the hands-off approach is the best. So we're just going to leave it at that, Capricorn. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My June calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the June subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice. The winners, which will be three, will have a choice between either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a lovely tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites, or you can choose a custom pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's two simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one do you feel represents you and your energy best? You could even pick multiple if you'd like. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab /post tab. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.